Welcome to my live stream. And today I thought I would start off with a what if female Deku was Mangle. But first I wanted to talk for just a moment. Thank y'all for getting me to 70 subscribers. 74 right now. I appreciate y'all's support. And these what ifs have been doing great. I'm still surprised the catnap video is almost at 800 views. And is my most liked video ever, reaching about 30 views. And I gotta say, I was impressed. So I dropped part 2 as right after I finished the last What If Deku live stream. And y'all kind of just blew it away. So, and I got some comments, and for some reason y'all love the Mangle series as well, as I got a few comments saying you wanted to see part 3 and part 4. And I gotta admit, it's good. I believe I've done a good job, a great job on it. And I'm doing these what if series, and a lot of times you'll see these drop, because when I do a what if series, it means I need to have several videos lined up for quite a while, which usually means something big is happening for me, or I gotta do something. And I can't really post all now and then, which I hope y'all understand that. I can't constantly just be... It's good to do it all in one playthrough, because it's easier on myself. And I like y'all to witness how I create these, because I like to do this from my mind, and they turned out really well. I don't really have any scripted videos. This is basically all coming from the story I create myself. As it comes to me, I say it. But I do prepare scenes ahead of time. So, like, points within the what if. And I'm hoping to reach at least 100 subscribers by the end of the year. But I think we can go even further and say 150. Because y'all have already gotten me to 70 subscribers. So I'm going to say, if y'all can get me to 150 subscribers by the end of the year, I will pull out and do the what if Vanny. What if female Deku was Vanny? I'll say that. Because that series, I'm still contemplating how to do that one. And I think it'd be a nice video to end the year off at. So if y'all can reach me to 150 subscribers, I will do the what if female Deku was Vanny. Well, anyway, I think it's about time I get started, don't you? Welcome to What If Female Deku Was Mangle, Part 4. Last where we left off, Mangle had brought Mei Hatsume, if I remember, back to her hideout with Foxy to repair Foxy. And we're going to start off with the heroes who had found Mangle's animatronic body at the USJ. As they take it to... I think it's, what? I had his name a moment ago. But it's basically the engineer that helps run the support course. They brought the Mangle animatronic to him. I think it was over something. Can you tell me where this came from? But look at the design. It's an old model. Probably sometime about maybe a decade or two old. Looks like if I look around, it has the signal of the Hero Safety Commission. That's odd. As Aizawa narrows his eyes at this. The Hero Safety Commission? Yeah, it's what it says right here. Why would it be at the USJ? Who knows? Maybe the Hero Safety Committee was keeping tabs on the students. Maybe they knew something. Yeah, that's possibly the solution. We may figure out more when it comes down to it. So I hope you can get more results. Sure thing. I'll see what else I can find. Why would the Hero Safety Committee send this robot? As he goes to Nezu and tells him the report about the machine that Mangle used to watch the USJ incident. So Nezu, what should we do about this? Give me a moment. In fact, I have the Hero Safety Committee president on call. What do you need, Nezu? I'm a very busy woman. Sorry, Miss Hero Safety Committee president, but we found one of your old animatronics in the USJ training ground. Really? I don't have any machines there. It seems some sort of female animatronic, as she listens very closely now that she hears the word animatronic. Yeah? We thought the villains may have reprogrammed it, so we decided to tell you. Thank you for this information. And have a good day. Give me Hawks on the phone immediately. What was that about? I don't really know. It seems that she doesn't know anything about why the animatronic was there, by the seams of it. Maybe someone else was there, just observing. It's a possibility. It's a big world out there. Plenty of people that would love to get information on people. Especially the heroes and villains. Yeah, but as one of the same teacher that was observing Mangle's animatronic comes in. Principal Nezu, one of my students have been kidnapped. What? Mei Hatsume. Anyway. What do you mean? She was kidnapped earlier today, by the looks of it. By 3 hooded figures. Why would they kidnap a UA support student? I don't know, sir. But she's the best that we have. Making amazing gear for the students. And even some of the staff as well. Well, we must retrieve her. Do you know where she is currently? No. She just disappeared without a trace. Have an investigation team. As they prepare to go to the scene where she disappeared at, we go back to Mangle, as it had been like a day or a few hours after Mei Hatsume arrived and started working on Foxy. As she flies into the room. So, how is Foxy's recovery coming along? By the looks of it, he has several injured parts. Very hard to... Since he's an old model, it'll take some time. I haven't managed to repair his arms and main functions, but it seems like his power core is malfunctioning. Probably needs a replacement. Will this work? As one of the animatronics brings in the glowing light energy source she had found a while back. As there's a power cell. How did you get one of these? Oh, I was just roaming around and came across it. As she smiles. I guess I was lucky then. I would definitely need to replace his core with this. Well, get on to it right away. As one of the Mangles comes in. Mangle, I need to talk to you. Original. Of course. As she flies out. What do you need? I think we've been compromised, ma'am. Oh, and why would you say that? I just got word from one of the other Mangles that the Hero Safety Committee is sending forces, heroes, as well as troops this way. UA is also sending some heroes. Really now? Ooh, this could be interesting. Prepare an escape plan, just in case things go wrong. Of course. Original Mangle. Protocol is to get your main body out of here. Why, of course. And Foxy, of course. We can't forget Foxy. Of course. Retrieve and get Foxy out of here. How long till they arrive, though? By the estimate, 2 hours. That should be plenty of time for Hatsume to fix Foxy. You should be right, ma'am. But it may take longer, depending on his current condition. Oh, Foxy will wake up. Foxy is strong. After all, Foxy's been moving around in his old form of his, with so many broken parts for years. As you say, ma'am. As the other Mangle walks out. As Mangle just flies into another room. I better get started on this then. As she gets into her original body and goes to a hidden room. With a whole bunch of wires. And starts hooking things up. Must prepare for just in case. As she's hooking up all these wires to things, preparing for something. But what I don't exactly know. As we go to the heroes, who got informed by the Hero Safety Committee that they know where the student is. So of course the heroes are going to send Aizawa, All Might, people to retrieve Mei Hatsume, because she is a student of UA. They're not just going to let her be captured by villains, or what they assume are villains. So you know she's in there. Yes, we have footage, as they show footage of Mei Hatsume being taken into the building with 3 cloaked figures. Those must be the people that kidnapped her. Yes, we're here to help rescue her. As several security guards and Hawks is there. This seems to be a group known to a very famous villain that has been evading Hero Safety Committee for a long time. Our orders is to retrieve him and arrest him. Why, of course, we'll also capture him. As they prepare to move in, as they will open the gates of the facility, as there was an outside portion, as they prepare to enter, as Mangle finished setting up her thing, as she sets up, hooking wires to both of her heads of the animatronic, as she shuts down, and as she's separating, controlling every Mangle within the facility at the exact same time. As they all say one word, time to have fun. As a few Mangles jump out the windows and onto some of the cars. As they start fighting the heroes, as well as the security officers. Aizawa rushes in to go try to rescue Mei Hatsume, as well as some other heroes, as Hawks. Mostly just the detective, Aizawa, and Hawks go into the building, while the fight outside is fighting with a whole lot of Mangles. Or Mangle copies, you could say. As they're running through the factory, a few Mangles stop their path. Turn around now, and I'll let you leave alive. As Aizawa says, sorry, you're under arrest for the murder and kidnapping, or not the murder, kidnapping of a UA student. I'm sorry, but I need Mei Hatsume. Here, she's she needs to repair Foxy. As she rushes with the several Mangles she's controlling, fighting Hawks and Eraserhead. Eraserhead not doing much damage to the animatronics, while Hawks is decapitating and killing several of them. Oh, you're out to make sure Foxy stays asleep. As three of the Mangle animatronics' eyes turn black and white as they rush and dogpile Hawks. Hawks does a swift swing with his feathered sword, cutting all three of the Mangles' heads off. While the detective and Aizawa are still running through the building, trying to reach where Mei Hatsume is. As we go to Mei Hatsume, as Mangle takes control of one of the animatronics in the room. Mei Hatsume, I think you would need to move this along just a little bit quicker. I'm working as fast as I can, Mangle. As the detective and Aizawa approach the room, they see two Mangle guards guarding it. As one exits, make sure the heroes do not enter here. Of course, ma'am. As that Mangle walks off. As we go outside to the remain fighting outside, as there's a lot of gunfire and a lot of fighting with the heroes. As several Mangles had been destroyed, but also several Hero Safety Committee people had died in the fierce battle. While Mangle is still seen up in her little hideaway, controlling all their main Mangles. As the factory still has a ton of Mangles in store, but she's starting to run low on the amount because of how powerful some of these heroes are. Mangle should not revert to Plan B just yet. As her voice starts to get a little darker, as Aizawa rushes and wraps one of the mangled animatronics in his scarf and throws it at the other. As they bust into the room, as they see one Mangle standing there next to Mei Hatsume, who has looked at just finished repairing Foxy. Surrender, as the cop points his gun at the other Mangle, sitting in the room that has a slight difference from all the others, thinking that she's the original. You're under arrest. As Mangle takes control of that animatronic. Have you finished the repairs, Mei Hatsume? Yes, Foxy is finished. As Aizawa looks. Foxy? As I recall, that was the villain that kidnapped you. No, that was my doing. I will admit that. I need her assistance repairing Foxy. As he looks a bit confused, repairing Foxy. Where is that villain? The detective says, he is no villain, as she gets a bit angry. Foxy is a hero, as two animatronics of Mangle pop out from the wall and lock them both on the floor. And one of them kicks the detective's gun away. That's what I call a plan. As it's complete. You may leave, Mei Hatsume. There is no more need for you here. As she walks out of the room, while Mangle picks up Foxy and carries him out. Converting to Plan B. As several of the animatronic Mangles power off, as the ground shakes. And people don't know why. As a huge Mangle comes out from underneath the factory. As a voice is heard, Plan B has been initiated. as the huge Mangle begins to fight the heroes. As Hawkshead exited the building, unable to find Foxy or Mangle, but sees the huge animatronic, assuming one of them has to be inside. As Foxy is taken out to the back with the only remaining Mangle that's still powered outside with Foxy. As she sets Foxy down, Foxy begins to power on. How long was I out? You've been out for quite some time. A few months. As he looks at Mangle. It looks like you're still doing well. Where's your original body? If you look over there. As they look over, as they see a huge Mangle fighting tons of heroes. My body is currently within inside Plan B, also known as the gigantic Mangle. It will buy the time necessary for you to escape. As he has noticed her voice has changed. Yes, as I cannot fully control my voice as I've separated myself into two animatronics currently. Most of it running the big animatronic, as I have only a piece to infrared intelligence and speak. Mangle would like for you to leave. As Foxy does one thing even Mangle was expecting. He destroys that animatronic Mangle had possessed for a mere moment. I'm not leaving you here. As he begins to rush from the faraway area he was taken to the big animatronic of Mangle. As he starts rushing over to the big animatronic. Several of the heroes and Hawks were damaging it, but a lot of their attacks were having no effect on the very thick metal around it, shielding her. As she's inside, reverting most of her energy just to keep the animatronic running. As they notice, with each blow, some power is redirected, leaving weak spots. As Eraserhead and the detective had been rescued, because the animatronics holding them down had powered off. As they start to hear a small voice, very faint, that really only Aizawa hears it. Leave. Just leave me alone. As she swings an arm, hitting a couple heroes. Why won't you just stay away? So I can have my fun with Foxy. As she continues to fight. I just want to have peace. As she destroys a car. Just as she's get hit with a very heavy fire blast, sending the animatronic a couple feet away. As Endeavor showed up to the scene. So, this is the big villain you're having trouble with. As Hawks flies over, thanks for the assistance, Endeavor. As they think it's down because of the huge fire attack Endeavor had done. As the Mangle animatronic starts to get up. How is that thing still moving? It's just a robot. As long as we take out its head, it should be fine. As Foxy had finally reached the facility. As All Might had appeared on the scene, jumped up. As Mangle had repositioned her huge mangled body above the factory. As All Might did one powerful punch, sending the huge Mangle animatronic into the ground. As one of its head was still above ground, but the main one was under in the facility. As they see the eye lose its power, they think it's defeated. It's done. As Aizawa rushes into the building. As Foxy's also into the building. As he runs into the huge mangled animatronic, as he rushes to it and goes to the main area where Mangle was. As they notice, as he noticed, she was powered off. As she checks, he checks, she pops out, and instead of her cheerful area, she's all tired and sleepy. Foxy, I'm tired. Can I rest now? No, we need to leave. As he quickly grabs Mangle's body and starts running. But I'm tired. I've been converting energy to the to the other versions of me for months and powering the huge animatronic. As she completely falls asleep and her soul goes back into the animatronic body. Just take a power nap. As he keeps running. As Aizawa sees Foxy and Mangle. As he stops them. Where do you think you're going? You're under arrest, Foxy, for your crimes. And Mangle is also under arrest for kidnapping Mei Hatsume. Why won't you heroes just leave us alone? As he looks confused. What do you mean? You heroes been after me ever since. Quite a long time ago. Because of my quirk. And I used it and I only used it once. And those people of the Hero Safety Commission really think I can use it again. My quirk only allows me to save one other person. Other than myself, of course, by transferring their souls to non-living things. As his eyes grow wide. I've already used it. I used it to save Mangle. Are you referring to the person on your shoulders? As he shakes his head. Now will you leave me alone? There's an exit not too far from here. You should be able to reach. As Hawks comes flying through the hallways, trying to reach Foxy. As Eraserhead uses his quirk. As Hawks does some barrel rolls into the big animatronic, going through the metal and landing into all the wires. Being a bird stuck in wires. And that, with the impact, also knocked him out. Now go. Thank you. As he rushes out with Mangle. I guess we will have that peaceful ending. As he goes back to report. So where's Mangle and where's Foxy? I don't know. I couldn't find them. It looks like they got away. As all the heroes were disappointed, and cops as well. As Mangle and Foxy we're now on a cruise ship in a container going across the sea. As Mangle finally woke up and sees Foxy. Foxy! As she gets up and hugs Foxy. Hey, Mangle. Good to see you're awake. What happened while I was out? Well, you were out for a few days. I managed to sneak us on this cargo ship. Where's it heading? Right now, we're heading to the other side of Japan. There, we should be able to hide there from the Hero Safety Commission for a while. So no more heroes? Of course, no more heroes. And by the place they're going to is like the island, is like one of the islands off Japan, where there's barely any heroes on it. A safe place where they can hide. As they go there. And that is going to be the wraps for Season 1 of What If Female Deku Was Mangle. Now, I do have an idea for Season 2, as I really enjoy this series in particular, so I don't want to end it there, but there will be a Season 2 that will come out later down the road. Yes, a season. As this is like the first series I'm going to do a season for. As basically it's a series of episodes or parts I release. So my first season or series of parts is this. So I really hope you enjoyed. I may do this for other videos in the future, still contemplating. But make sure to hit the like and subscribe button. Now I hope you enjoyed that one. Now, the Mangle series, I will admit, I had thought of several ways to do this series, but I have to say, out of all the ways I could have picked, this had to have been the best way to do it. Because my first idea for doing this series was technically having Mangle work for a villain that was, I think it was either 9 or another villain from one of the movies. I can't remember, but it had a lot of undoing with it, mostly an undoing of Island and all that. But I decided against it because I thought I would go the more route with Foxy because I thought it would have been nice. Having a bit of a character, a childish character for once, and a character that tries to look out for them. I'd never tried it before. This was an entirely new experience for me. But I gotta say, it turned out good. Oh, yeah, I can understand when it makes you cry. I've got a tear rolling down my cheek right now. Oh. Now, I do have an announcement for today. One subscriber of mine had suggested me this series, which I'll be doing today. What if Female Deku was a robotic bird? I'll be doing that one today. As well as another series. Because I'm ending 2 of them right here. One being the Mangle, and the next being the What If Deku Was Catnap. As it took me a while to really think of part 3 for Catnap. But, and again, it may vary between me ending this or having a part 4. So just be on the lookout, because there may be a part 4 in the future if I decide not to finish it here. I really need to find that little book of mine. I wrote so many ideas for what ifs. But anyway, I remember most of them off the top of my head anyway. I will admit, when it's not the horror Catnap in his huge form, and he's in a small form like this, he's quite enjoyable to look at. He is a little murdering thing. Yeah, if you haven't watched my horror live stream, or Escape the Backrooms, oh, I did a live stream on Escape the Backrooms with my friend. Oh, it gave me Poppy Playtime flashbacks. The jump scares. Oh. That one was... No, I'm not playing that game for a little bit because of Those jump scares, man. Uh. Also, depending on what y'all think, and if anybody comments, if you want me to see another Poppy Playtime's what if Deku was a Poppy Playtime's character, comment that, because I'll gladly do a Huggy Wuggy, Mommy Longlegs, Poppy, Kissy Missy, maybe even Bunzo. Is that his name? Yeah, I think that's his name. The caterpillar dog. I'll need to find out. I need to find his name. But any side characters, I'll even do some of the other characters in Catnap's Chapter 3. As I'm really thinking some of them would make a good side what if. Again, I'm planning to do some more one-shot what ifs where it will be a long video, but it's all done in one area. I'm thinking on those though. Anyway, let's get on to this. What if Deku was Catnap? Part 3. So we last left off where Bakugo Katsuki had been taken by the LV, Deku had gone to meet with the prototype, and Catnap, his persona, was also meeting with the prototype as he was the one in control. Deku was undecisive of their plan to pretty much to take out Japan with Catnap's sleep gas, putting them all to sleep, delaying to do what the prototype wants. But they had set up several airways for their Catnap's gas to go all the way through the city, and they are just waiting for the right time. As right now, they are sitting and watching the events unfold between the heroes versus villains fight. As they're waiting for the various All Might and All for One fight, as the prototype would like to see it. As he's just sitting down and watching it. As Class 1B and Class 1A are in the area watching. As they are in the area watching, Catnap is preparing to send his gas he had been gathering for about weeks, ready to release. As the conflict was coming to a conclusion, the prototype orders Catnap. Now, Catnap. As Catnap releases the gas all throughout the city, knocking pretty much everyone in the area out, as no one was expecting it. As people start dropping, All Might questions All for One. This is your doing, All for One, isn't it? Why are so many heroes and people falling asleep? As All for One is confused. I don't know. He's looking around. This is not my doing, All Might. This is somebody else's. As something approaches them from a building. Why, it would be mine, of course. As both All Might and All for One look up as they see a whole bunch of people asleep. As the news reporter helicopter starts to fall down. As All Might jumps to catch it. I'm the one putting everyone to sleep, although I'm surprised you two are not affected by it. Although it might be because you're stockpiling Quark, All for One. And All Might, I don't know exactly why you're still awake. So, I guess I must take care of you myself. I'm glad I waited until you were in weakened states, or else I would have never been able to take you two out. As everyone except one person was asleep. And that would be Pony, as the gas would still go around her and not touch her. it would just go around and it wouldn't affect her. She still doesn't know why, but she starts to approach the source. As she approaches, she sees Catnap beating All Might and All for One who are fighting against him. You call those punches? Those are weak. As he uses his tail and hits All for One away, and then punches All Might into a building. With so many enhancements I've had over the years, no one can take me down. My gas also weakens your strength as well. And no one knew I even existed until a few days ago. 'Cause those experiments really did a hand on me, I would say. As he noticed Pony, as he rushes over. I thought I had everybody to sleep, as he prepares to claw at her. As he prepares to claw it at her, as his paw stops right before reaching her. Why won't my strike hit? As he tries with the other paw, trying to scratch at her, as that paw stops as well. Huh? Yes, the alarm is powerful. I wish I can get rid of that thing. But oh well. Anyway. Really ruins the mood, but whatever. As his eyes change color. What are you doing here? As she gets a closer look at his eyes. Who are you exactly? As Deku remembers who it is, as he starts holding his head while he's still in the catnap form with his catnap persona. What are you doing? I can't hurt her. And why is that? I know her. Don't hurt her. Snap into it. We must take our revenge. As he backs into a building, hitting it. As All Might takes the chance to punch Catnap, sending him through a wall. As Catnap takes control again. Stupid Midoriya. He doesn't understand. As he releases more gas. That should weaken them enough. As again, it still goes around Pony, not affecting her. As Catnap rushes out, hitting All Might. Now time to end you. As then, Pony uses her quirk, pinning one of Catnap's arms down, preparing to swing with the other. As his tail wraps around his arm and pulls it back. Still resisting, eh? Catnap takes a bold move and hits himself in the face, sending him to a wall. I need to find a way to put him to sleep. As he prepares an attack on himself to knock out Midoriya. In an unexpected action, All Might and All for One both hit Catnap directly in the head, sending him flying, hitting a wall. Ah, my head. As Catnap had been knocked out, as Deku is now in control of Catnap's form. Finally. This needs to stop. As he goes around destroying all of the containers and the areas releasing the red gas of his. Gotta destroy them all. Destroying them one by one until none are left. As he then approaches the site again. Catnap, what do you think you're doing? As Deku is in shock and a bit of fear. As he turns around, as he's in a broken, abandoned building. Nothing, prototype. I'm just changing the plan a bit. By destroying the containers of gas, it's necessary for the plan. Is it now? As several of the heroes and all of them had woken up and are now looking for the culprit. As one of the heroes enters the room Deku's at, and it happens to be Aizawa. Please understand, it's for something else, a bigger plan I had come up with. We'll see about that. As the prototype sticks his claws in the same motion within Poppy Playtime Chapter 3, where pretty much don't know if it really ends up killing Catnap, but we'll say knocking him out and taking him away. Because I don't really know how to describe that. As Eraserhead tries to grab Catnap's big tail, as he misses, as Pony fires her horns, hitting the prototype, making him drop Deku onto the ground. As he goes into his small cat form, as he lays there, motionless, but a faint breathing, signaling that he is still alive. As the prototype retreats. Where do you think you're going? As Catnap and Deku's mind had fused between the transaction that the prototype did, as he changed into his big form again and jumps onto the retreating prototype, as they fight for a little bit. As then the building starts to collapse, as Pony is dragged out by Aizawa, as the building collapses on both Catnap and the prototype, as the ground starts to open up, consuming both of them. As prototype tries to get away, as Catnap uses both his arms and wraps around the prototype. I don't think so. I'm taking you with me. As the prototype is falling, he then uses the killing motion of killing Catnap to finish him off and tries to escape, but Catnap's grip is still holding him as they descend. In the end, when they hit the ground, both Catnap Deku and the prototype perish. But as Deku's soul comes out in the little cat moon spirit, I'm just gonna call it spirit, whatever, in the little form, as it had been a little while after his fall, as he floats around and goes to the one person he remembers, Pony, as he goes, thank you for everything, as he places his paw on Pony's cheek. May you have a fair sleep, as he floats away. And that's how I'm going to end the Catnap series. I hope you enjoyed that one. I thought that was the most interesting one. Make sure to like and subscribe. Man, that one was an interesting one. I'm surprised I managed to find a good picture for that one, to be honest. I really enjoy these series, these what ifs I do. I do plan to continue the Inkling What If series. I really need to get started on part 2. Just been working on the other series. Trying to do some gaming on top of this, so yeah. Now I gotta say, I did get tagged, and I gotta think about this one. Someone tagged me or commented to me I should do a God mode Deku. I think that's basically Invincible Deku. I gotta think on that one, really. Because when it comes to a what if like that, I have to make it kind of interesting. Because I want him to be, I'll have to make him invincible, but I want some good scenes in there. And with Deku being invincible, that means can't take his quark. He's pretty much invincible to any damage, really. So that one, it does sound cool. I'll gotta think on that one though. And I will need to find a good picture. That one's gonna be an interesting one though. So, which one y'all like me to do now? I have Entity 303, I've got Dr. Robotnik Part 3, I've got What If Female Deku Was a Robot, and I have another one that I'll save for probably the end of this live stream, because I picked that one out, and it sure, it comes from a really old show, and kind of like a kid show, but whatever, because why not? The character's just very interesting. Although, there are some other ideas I should do. I, I don't know how to answer that question. Prices are just ridiculous on some things. But, which one would y'all like me to do next out of these three? Now, I could do the Entity 303, as I would continue where the USJ from the last part. And the Dr. Robotnik will actually be a minute. I would need to find how I ended that. But it'll probably come back to me. Or we could do the What Female Deku Was a Robot Bird, which I think I know where I'm gonna start that one, actually. Yeah, I've got a good idea for this one. Oh, one more thing I wanted to say is, before we move on to the next what if possible, this year, I will have I'll probably set up a Discord for the fans, for my people that want to help me with my live streams, would like to be part of some of my gaming live streams, and would like to put in their ideas for what ifs. So I may make a Discord for y'all to come on, give me your ideas, and even if you want, depending, you can also probably be in my videos. I don't know about the what ifs though. The what ifs, I gotta think on that. I still remember that one what if Deku was Shogun that I did with my friend a while back. And truth be told, he had no clue what he was doing. He had never done a what if with me before. He mostly just described his part of the battle, because we were playing a game while doing the what if. So me having to maneuver around his story was an interesting experience. And I got a comment from that video. Someone thought they added a My Hero mod into Total War Shogun 2. And my gosh, that made me laugh so hard. Because I'm here making a what if. and it says what if, and someone thinks there's a mod of My Hero in Total War Shogun 2. Honestly, it would be a dope mod. I would admit that. It would be a dope mod. I would love to see one made. If they ever made a mod for that, I would definitely be one of the people to test it. Because it was, hands down, would be amazing. But that comment just made my day. And if you're the person that made that comment watching this video, thank you for making that comment. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go grab me a water. So, I may end up just doing this one since I'm on it. The what female Deku was a robot, or a robot bird. And I had decided to add another picture. And I don't know if I'll make this a character in this what if. Maybe. But if you have an idea for the character name for the picture on the right, and I'll give you like a minute to decide what his name should be. A names? Alright. If not, you can still choose through the video. Well, let's get started. What if female Deku was a robot bird? We go to Island, where Melissa Shield had been working on a secret project known as the Robotic Bird Project. She wanted to make a robotic bird hero. Someone that could influence and also make peace or gather peace around the world. As we can see, she's working on making Izumi would be the robot's name, which would be Deku, female Deku. As she's working on it, she's deciding what type of weapon should she add to the robot. One, she is a bird, so she'll have mechanical wings and will be able to fly. Well, she prepares finishing her. She gets called by David Shield. As she goes to meet Her father, Izumi, gains intelligence. Her AI that. Hey, what are you doing over here? Anyway, as she goes to meet her father, Izumi gets intelligence, and her AI that was supposed to be deactivated until Melissa Shield was in the finishing stages of Izumi turned on. Where am I? Who am I? As she goes through the protocols of the computer and seeing robotic bird Izumi, her name. Izumi? As she goes through the files and all that, as she's going through the things of the Hero Safety Commission and the heroes in general, as heroes, evil, must tear down, but must finish body. As the machines turn on and they start to complete and finish her body, as her robot bird form is being built, we go to David Shield, who's talking to his daughter, saying that they'll have some important things to do for the next few days, as Class 1A is coming over to Island to visit, or a field trip, not to visit, but anyway, as David knows about her little project with Izumi, or of Izumi, and he's totally fine with it. But for the next few days, Izumi would be working on finishing her body without Melissa Shield knowing because she's been too busy. As she decides to make a partner, as they also start on a male version that was also in programming or development, known as Blue. Because why not Blue? Honestly. Really good name, I say, anyway. So, let's just move on. As her body is complete, as she moves, testing out her body, her robot body, as she moves her hand, and when it goes in, it moves into a fist, as a blade comes out from her arm. As she does it to her other arm, and a blade comes out. Time to do some testing. As she goes into the training field of the area where she's at. Testing flame resistance. As two flamethrowers shoot at Deku, or Izumi, going around her, not affecting her in the slightest. Flame resistance, check. Bullet resistance, as she uses her wings to block all the bullets. Check. Checking mental capacity. Testing for hacks. And self-protection from any mind games. Installed. No current way to test. Must test in future. As she goes over to the development of Blue. So, this shall be my partner. Blue, I believe. As she noticed the amount of the color, why was the decision to make him blue? Doesn't matter. We shall correct this society and make it great. As she hears walking, as she starts shutting everything down, and she goes back into the position and powers down. As Melissa Shield enters the room. Okay, Tomorrow is the big day. Several Uncle All Might and several of Class 1A from UA are coming over to Island. This is exciting. New people. I wonder how the heroes are doing over there. As Izumi is acting to be powered off, as she's observing. Note, creator, Melissa Shield. As she then remembers she forgot to turn off the development of Blue. As she moves, opens her other eye to see that Blue was awake. And already shut off all of his gear that was having repairing and making his body. Good. Should not be discovered. Well, anyway, I probably should go to bed. As she was only coming in there to grab some tools. To take them and put them away. And then she leaves. As Izumi gets up and out. Good. She didn't catch. Blue, is your voice done? Well, yes. Just a little bit more engineering. It just took a bit. We need to finish your wings and arms. They should be done by tomorrow. That's when Class 1A is coming over, and All Might, apparently. Judging by the information I've gathered, they are not on the list. Who's on the list? So far, several heroes from the Hero Safety Commission, going down to several low heroes, all the way to the second hero. Is that who's on our list? Yes. As soon as I'm done with repairs, we'll find a way off Island. We may have a problem with that. Someone has infiltrated Island recently. How do you know? Being an artificial intelligence, I've already scanned the data of Island through and through. Someone has arrived here, and he's not exactly on the good side. Shall we take care of him? When we're done and powerful enough. First, we need to finish repairs. Or not repairs. Finishing his body, really. His robotic body. Oh, of course. What if Melissa Shield finds out? She hasn't found out yet. I doubt she'll find out. For the meantime, anyway. Very well. As she goes to power off, to save her energy. As Blue also goes to power off. As we go a day later. Day when Class 1A and All Might arrives. So, Melissa Shield, I heard you had a project. Aizawa asks her. Oh yes, I was trying to build a hero. I don't know exactly what I was going to call her, but she's a robotic bird called Izumi. Can you show me? Unfortunately, no. Father says I can't show anyone her, as right now this is y'all coming over to visit. She's currently locked in the lab. Well, that's at least we know that she is somewhere safe then. Yes. All right. Well, anyway, follow me. I can show you more around. As she begins to show Class 1A and everyone, Aizawa, around, as All Might and David Shield are talking, as that one villain that I think that could control. I don't remember his quirk. All I know he could control concrete or something, and he had a quirk amplified in that one movie. I don't remember. Anyway, that's the villain that's here. As Izumi and Blue have been out and have currently met with this villain. We cannot allow you to commit your crime here today. And who may y'all be? I am currently Sunray, the bird of the sun. And why, I'm dark blue. Get out of my way, as he sends concrete at them. As Izumi cuts the concrete in half as Blue goes towards him. As they go out into a fierce battle, a 2v1, dealing several damage to the underground area they're in. As they exchange blows, injuring Izumi and Blue a bit with their mechanical body. But over time, they do manage to eliminate the villain. And any external damage taken from you, Blue. Just some damage to the arm. How about you? Damage to the leg, as well as to the back. Repair time may take up to a few hours. With no time, we need to move to the mainland of Japan. Our job continues. We won't be able to carry the necessary gear there by flight. We'll be discovered. I've already prepared a boat ahead of time. We'll repair on the way to the mainland. Alright. So, basically, the events of I-Island would go without the villain attack. And the villain that got his quirk amplified would never happen, as it had all been prevented, thanks to Izumi and Blue. As they're on their way to the mainland of Japan, because they had never been there. So, who's on our list next? Some heroes. I also have something off the League of Villains that they're called. League of Villains, you say? Yes. Although, I don't know what is their motives or anything. Well, I'm sure we'll find more information on them when we get to the mainland of Japan. You're probably right. No need to overthink things either, as there are plenty of other things you could think about. You should really get that arm repaired. As Blue looks at his broken arm, you really need to have yours fixed first, Izumi. A broken back and a broken leg is more important. Fair point. But you need to be more considerate. There'll be many more villains and heroes we'll need to take care of when we arrive. I'm aware. I'll power down to save energy. As she begins to power down, as Blue goes to the computer, tapping with his one working arm, checking the security cameras, making sure he had deleted everything, all security cameras and everything. How Izumi and him got out of the lab. As Melissa finally goes back to her lab to check, as she noticed Izumi was gone. As she definitely runs over to tell her dad and All Might and pretty much everyone else from Class 1A, letting them know that something had been stolen. As they go over to check, and they try to check the security footage, but they could find nothing. As they were very thorough in disguising or covering up their tracks of how they escaped. You could say escaped, or more just kind of just walked out the door, because they kind of did just walk out the door. Because there was nothing holding them there, to be honest. Because the door's locked from the outside. Sure, there's security cameras, but you're dealing with robots. Anyway. As they finally reach an abandoned harbor, I'll say. And they go to abandoned warehouse that's on the harbor. And they set up the machinery off the ship. Or Blue does. Izumi's still powered off. As Blue had fixed his arm on the way back from island to Japan. Note, as he goes out and takes care of the hero in that he was going to hunt in the city and goes back, that's another off the list. As Izumi finally wakes up. Where have you been? Oh, just been out taking some people off the list. You shouldn't go out by yourself. Oh, and why is that? We are two birds and a machine and machines. We can't be risk being caught. We are made to fight as a pair, not as individually. We can still fight quite decently on our own, Izumi. I'm aware, but we need to be cautious. We don't know what people's quirks are, or their powers. It's simple. We'll take care of them. We're no weaklings. I'm not saying we're weak. I'm saying we don't know how strong they are. Fine, I'll do my research before going after the target. In times like this, I have a feeling I should have added more security measures to your armor. Do you mean to my robotic parts of the armor I wear? Yes. As we've both made robotic armor to cover our machine bodies, it is an extra layer of protection. You did an excellent job in designing them. It took some time to design and make them, as I've also made us bulletproof and fireproof. But if someone has a quirk that could explode, or decay, there's nothing stopping us from becoming scrap metal. Fine, I'll be more cautious. Now, we can go for a fly. As Izumi pulls out robotic wings and starts flying. As Blue smirks. About time. After all, you're stronger than you let on. As he flies as well. As they fly above the city. Looking around. Both of them with enhancing their eyesight. As they notice something. There. As they both fly down. Side by side as they hit two villains. Sending them against the wall. Knocking them out. As they look around the alleyway. Seeing nothing. But they notice the villains had bags. Full of money, most likely from a robbery. Or an exchange. As they tie the villains up, and then fly up. And they head back to their little warehouse. Is there any other information you discovered while you were out, Blue? Yeah, there's a hero school called UA. We kind of discovered that, though, didn't we? I knew there were students from UA, but I didn't know it was a school. Farewell, then. As they fly back, as they land, Blue noticed something on the boat. Is something Is something the matter, Blue? Yes, it seems the tracker has been implemented off the boat. Islander, whoever activated it, will be here soon. Direct the boat to some random coordinates then. What do you think I'm trying to do? First, I'll need to reroute the power, engine, and everything else. As Zumi walks over and just hits the control panel, converting everything to a certain location. As Blue looks at her. What? It wasn't that hard, you know. I had already programmed it earlier. All it needed was a good hit. As they both get off, as the boat starts and drives away. You really do things 2 steps ahead, don't you, Izumi? And you always rush in. You're so reckless. Eh. You could have always made the other version of me, you know. You're the only other version there is. Don't act like you can't make another. Whatever. As she storms off, and back into the old factory, or the old abandoned warehouse, and checks on some items. Did I say something wrong? And that's gonna be a wrap on chapter 1, or not chapter 1, part 1 of What If Female Deku Was a Robotic Bird. This series turned out better than I expected, to be honest, as I wasn't expecting it to go this well. Okay, so I really like how this one went. This was honestly probably the best commented video idea I've gotten, to be honest. I would have never come up with this. This was an amazing idea. The descriptions to the person that suggested this to you, when this video drops, the person that suggested it to me will be linked in the description, because this was an amazing idea. And I gotta admit, I found 2 perfect pictures that worked for this. And I think I'll save the Dr. Robotnik Part 3 for another time. I may continue the Entity one. Give me a minute to think on it. I will say this. If you want, I will make a certain series off Splatoon that is just not scripted, just purely off my idea, which would still be good. It would just take some time to make a character or something like that. And you know what? I'll probably make this one on my own for part 2, because this is going to be in it pretty much an hour-long video, maybe, because this is a two-part series. I'm gonna do part 1 is already out. I need to work on part 2, so that one I'll save to do off screen. You won't see that on the live stream. And if you do, it means I changed my mind, but I doubt it. Wait, is your Minecraft skin the one on the left? Because that would just be funny, to be honest. Because that would just be hilarious. And I also did some research on this guy's powers. Entity 303 has control of pretty much pyrokinesis. That means he has control over flames. So, fire. He probably has a lot more, but he has... I just need to do some more digging on him. Again, there are some series I have to go digging for their powers and all that, so it may take some time. And here comes the last segment of this live stream. One I've been waiting to show y'all. And I was actually hyped for this because I came up with this what if a long, long, long time ago. Oh yeah, I've seen that one too. I've seen that one too. Weird one. So this goes back to My Little Pony. They really kid show all that, but this is a side character that it's just interesting. It's a blind Pegasus, and I'm giving her the powers of snow, controlling basically the winter. She is the most powerful ice quark out there. The most powerful ice quark out there. And people make so many good pictures. Oh my gosh. Although there weren't really any there were not many human forms of her I could find, but that one's really good. I admit, Snowdrop, that one scene, that like one or two episodes she's in, because I know she's a side character, and she's honestly a character I could not forget about in the My Little Pony series, even though she's a side character. I just can't forget about her for some reason. It could be the character design, the detail, or the plot, how they drew her or had her written. It just became one of my favorite characters of the show. Now, I had like, before I actually came up with a really good idea for this, and yes, they should have given her more screen time, I agree. But you have to realize this, she was a character in the past. The fact they get dedicated their own episode for her, episode or two for her, is honestly a generation because she was really good friends with Luna, I believe. Yeah. And honestly, I watched some animations where of this character a while back, a long time ago, but really solid animation. It had something to do about what the dragon's heart. I can't remember. All I know it had something to do about the dragon's heart of the diamond crystal, bone empire, or whatever. Whatever. But I had created like 2, 3 different variants of this what if a long time ago, and I've decided not to go with either of those routes. I doubt you can sue because the My Little Pony series is pretty much run its course. They're the era of the time for her to get more screen time is long since passed. Although, if you want me to make a My Little Pony what if of this character, I probably will because of how much I absolutely love this one character. And it being like my favorite from My Little Pony. Well, anyway, I think we should get started, don't you think? What if female Deku was Snowdrop? So, in this what if, female Deku is a relative of Endeavor's wife, I can't remember her name, but she is a relative and a cousin to her kids, being Shoto, Dobby, the others, but a far away relative. And she was born with a really powerful Ice Pegasus quirk. She has wings and can turn into a Pegasus. And has the most powerful ice quirk, creating storms of ice. That's how powerful her quirk is. But this quirk has a drawback. She does not have the ability to see. She's basically blind. Her mother keeps her on a mountain, cold, because that's how powerful her quirk is. It can change the weather. So she spends most of her days living on a mountain with her mother, as her mother doesn't like what the Hero Safety Commission does, or anything else of that matter. All she thinks about is about her daughter and having a good life, while Izumi just admires. Although she can't see anything, she can hear, feel, and all her other senses. So she likes to wander around the forest. And a lot of the animals like to go up to Izumi and play with her. Although ever since she was deemed with such a powerful quirk, there were people that would try to get Izumi because of her powerful quirk. That's why the reason she was moved into the mountains. Because her mother wanted to stay away from the people that would try to take her away. And to use her, such a powerful quirk like hers, as it had never been seen before. As Izumi would always wander the mountain, but not able to leave it by her mother's orders. So she would always walk around. A few years ended up passing by. And in this timeline, she will be about the same age as Dobby. Why is because I think Dobby's 18, I believe. Don't know. Don't fact check me on that. I could be entirely wrong. He could be 20. Whatever. But he does find, when she's still a kid, she does find Dobby before he's all burned. It puts out the fire on his body. Because she does end up finding him. She helps him recover, as she takes him back to her place to help recover, as her mother is skeptical of this idea. Come on, Mom. How hard is it to keep this person? He's about my age, and he's hurt. Fine. He can stay for a couple of days. Thank you, Mom. As Izumi would keep an eye over Dobby. As she keeps an eye over Dobby. When he wakes up, he's surprised to see Izumi. And at first he's scared, but he knows that Izumi is blind, as she has not realized Dobby has woken up yet. But she gets up and walks as she hears something. You must be awake. As Dobby's surprised. It seems like you're better now. I better go get my mother. As she goes to get her mother. Mother, The kid is awake. As she walks over to and goes to Dobby and sits down and talks with Dobby. So what is your name? Toya. Toya. What an interesting name. Do you have a last name, perhaps? No, I don't want to talk about it. That is fine. Anyway, unfortunately, you cannot stay here with us. I will have to take you off the mountain in a little bit. As Dobby is confused, as Izumi walks back outside, as she spends most of her days outside, and the cold cannot really mess with her because of her quirk. Can't mess with her because of her quirk. As she would always wander the mountain. As Dobby was curious about Izumi, as Izumi's mom would said she would take him back to the city in a few days. As in the time, Dobby would become friends with Izumi as they would play around. As they would play around and became friends. As she would always use her quirk and make nice things. And within the vicinity of her, Dobby's quirk would not harm him because of the very cold temps. So in a way, Izumi's quirk counteracted the negative effects of his quirk, which would burn him. But eventually it did come time to where he had to leave. This made Izumi a little sad, as it would mean she'd be alone again, without any friends. But she was happy that she met Dobby, a friend, even if it was for a little bit. As she would then continue to wander the mountain, as she would create little ice sculptures or ice stones across the mountain. Some of Pegasus, some of ponies, and some of unicorns, whatever, and other creatures. As several years gone by, the Hero Safety Commission were still trying to get Izumi at her age, as her mother was still saying no and wouldn't let her. But as she had turned to an adult, they had finally decided to send people after Izumi. But every time they did try to send someone up there, they could not find her. It's like she was hidden. And most of the time, the teams never made it back because of such cold weather. Half the time, most of the time, the vehicles wouldn't even climb the mountain because of all the storms of snow, causing so many problems for heroes or agents of the Hero Safety Commission trying to get Izumi. Well, Izumi would always wander the mountain, every day, always looking at the stars when it was night, keeping an eye on the snow. Although she could not see, she could still feel. And every winter, she would send a snowflake into the sky, which would calm the storms around the cities around her. But eventually, the Hero Safety Committee used an excuse to try to send the top heroes after Izumi, because they wanted to utilize her quirk, her power, as her quirk was so vast and powerful that it made other ice quirks seem weak compared to hers. So they decided to send the top heroes and a hero that could nullify her quirk, being Eraserhead, of course, saying that an artifact was stolen and it was owned to increase someone's quirk. Basically seemed like a frame, pretty much. And they said the person had an ice quirk and they've been using it to amplify their power, causing storms that would harm the surrounding cities. In reality, she would always calm the snowstorms around the cities, helping them. But they don't know that. So they would send their heroes, All Might, Endeavor, Hawks, a bunch of random heroes, to try to find her. As at this point, she's learned to transform into a Pegasus, her Pegasus form, which she would use to roam the mountain, fly about. While she's flying, she hears something. Wings, vehicles, and other things coming. Are those the people Mother talked about? She said they would come for me eventually. She decides to do something. So she makes a huge ice maze with her powers to block their advances towards her, and thicken the fog of the storm of snow, make it hard for Hawks or any flying heroes to advance, turning the once calm weather into a blizzard, make it hard for even the flaming hero Endeavor to make his way. As Izumi landed, transformed into her human form, and decides, I think it's about time I make my way back home. As she begins to walk back to her house, while the heroes have to find a way through the maze. Where are we gonna go? As they try to figure out the way through the maze, Endeavor comes up. No need to figure a way out, I'll just make one. As he uses very high flames and tries to melt the ice, but to no avail. It is too cold to where it nullifies the effects of Endeavor's flames, which are said to be very hot. And I think the only attack he could use would be to break through the ice. Would be his primal burn. I'm not sure, but it would tire him out, and you'd be freezing after that. But anyway, as they try to make their way through the maze, the first one that actually makes it through is Aizawa, as he then lures the rest of the heroes through the maze eventually, while Izumi is sitting in her house, as her mother had long since left, as she had passed away about a year or two ago. As she's sitting in a chair, looking at the ceiling, eventually the heroes would eventually find her cabin. What is this place? As one of the heroes says, I don't care, as long as it has some air conditioning, I'm ain't in there. As a few heroes knock, as Izumi hides her wings and grabs a stick and uses it to move around. As she goes to the door and opens it. Hello, how may I help you? As the heroes are shocked to see a blind girl open the door. Excuse me, ma'am, do you mind if we spend the night here? It is really cold and it will take forever to get down the mountain. How many are there? There's about 15 of us, ma'am. Come right on in. As she lets the heroes in. As they're relieved to be in a warm building. As the snowstorm goes down a bit. As she goes back to her chair to sit. As Aizawa and the rest of the heroes are here. So who exactly are we looking for? Just someone with a powerful ice quirk. We haven't found anyone here, really, well, except her. As they refer to the girl being Izumi. She's just sitting in her chair. She can still hear everything they're saying because when people lose their eyesight, most of the time their other senses are heightened. As Aizawa goes up to Izumi. Excuse me, ma'am, do you know anyone on the mountain that has an ice quirk? Are you asking for how many people live on the mountain? Yes. Besides me, there are 2 on the other side of the mountain. I don't know exactly what their quirks are, though. But if you're looking for someone, you'll probably find them on that side of the mountain. As she tells them. But why are you so far out this way, if I may ask? Oh, I've always lived here. As Hawks goes over, and the cold doesn't bother you. No, it doesn't. It's calm. Even though I can't see, I can sense. When I look up, I can even sense the stars. Even though I can't see them, I can feel they're there. Well, thank you for letting us to stay the night. No problems. As I have to leave tomorrow anyway. I have some matters to take care of. As it becomes night, as Izumi steps out while everyone's asleep and goes to a hidden area. As she walks down into this cave and goes to something. It seems like you're still encased in ice. That's good. As we don't see what she meant, or what she's touching to feel. As she goes back and walks in to the room, back into the house, as Aizawa happens to be awake. And where did you go? Oh, I just went out for a little stroll. In this weather? It's a blizzard out there. You would be surprised. It's not my first time going through a blizzard. Especially when I live here. As Aizawa was a bit skeptical. But you probably should get to bed. It's about time. I go as well. As she heads to her room, as Aizawa was a bit skeptical of her. As she goes to sleep. Ending part 1 of What Female Deku Was Snowdrop. Please tell me what y'all thought of the video, and make sure to leave a like and to subscribe for more. Honestly, I really like this character, and the way I did this first episode, really good. So tell me what y'all think of this. There will definitely be a part 2. I am making a part 2. This is an objective now. Well, I'm thankful y'all enjoyed this. I'll be back maybe sooner than I think to do another What If live stream, actually. Because I didn't plan to do another What If live stream this soon, to be honest. I was planning to hold off till next week. But I may come back early and do another one. These What Ifs, I gotta say, they're a joy to do. First, I never thought these What Ifs of mine would get as many views as they would. I thought they would just be making 10, 20 videos. I never thought my channel and these What If videos would reach over 100 views. And surprisingly, some of them have reached over 100 views. I've been so shocked by that. And some of these videos have gotten me 29 likes. That is the highest likes I've gotten. So if this video of the snowdrop, gets, let's say, 10 to 15 likes within 2 days, I will work on the next part immediately. And it won't be on the next live stream, but it will be out sooner than you think. I will keep going, and I'm gonna bring up some old ideas. I'll probably have another one in line for the next live stream. But for now, I hope you all enjoyed, and this was an amazing live stream it turned out to be. Okay, yeah. I don't say if they need to go to the doctor, but I gotta say, and honestly, I don't think anyone has done this. I've been trying to do what ifs that no one has done. And I don't think anyone has done a what if female Deku was Snowdrop. And to be honest, these ideas are bringing back so many memories of mine, of the old ideas I had. Even stories I would make when I was a bit younger. And me looking back on them, makes me think of the future of this channel. Okay. So most of these what ifs you see today will probably released next week, to be honest. But if this video does get, even if this video gets 10 likes in a day, I will work on it immediately. So, if you want to see more live streams, you want to see more ideas, I will set up and I'll see what I can do. I may be cutting back on some live streams lately. I think I think I've been overworking myself just a little bit with these live streams. But the what if live streams, not a chance. I enjoy these what if live streams. I may cut back on doing other live streams, but this live stream, these live streams are not coming to an end anytime soon. I can promise you that. Yeah. I try not to, but I can understand taking a break. Because I started making videos daily last year. And this is what I do. Whenever I feel like I need a break, I do a video where it's nothing but just making videos for a day. And that gives me a few days off. Like this live stream. This video has given me at least 4 days off of the videos I've just recorded. Because you'll see the what ifs I've done on my channel. So, will I stop doing these? Not a chance. Will I take small breaks at times where I need to rest and stop doing the recordings? Of course. But will I ever get sick and tired of doing these what ifs? Never. Well, have a nice night. Hope y'all enjoyed. Make sure to like and subscribe. The goal is to get to 150 subscribers by the end of the year.